Your dog doesn't sleep next to you because you're warm. They sleep next to you because in their nervous system, your body is the safest place that has ever existed in their entire life. Most people read that as sweet. It is, but it's also something much more specific and much more urgent than affection. And when you understand what's actually happening inside your dog during those hours, the way you think about your relationship with them will never be the same. Here's what the research shows. When your dog chooses to sleep touching your body, they are not being cuddly. They are performing a neurological regulation ritual that some dogs cannot survive without. A 2020 study published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science found that dogs sleeping in proximity to their owners showed significantly lower cortisol levels through the night than dogs sleeping in separate rooms, even when those dogs had access to identical comfort, temperature, and space. The difference wasn't the bed. The difference was your heartbeat. What you are, at 2 a.m. when you're unconscious and completely unaware, is your dog's entire stress management system. And here's where it gets complicated. Most owners have no idea what their dog's sleep position, sleep location choices, and sleep behavior is trying to communicate. Dogs can't tell you when they're anxious. They can't tell you when they feel safe. They can't tell you when something in the relationship has shifted in a way that's costing them their rest. But if you know what to look for, they are telling you, every single night, in behavior that is so consistent, so specific, and so measurable that researchers can use it to map the emotional landscape of your entire bond. This video is about what dog behavior science has found inside those sleeping hours, and what your dog has been trying to say to you every night while you slept through it. Stay through point 3. That one changes something. 1. The place your dog chooses to sleep is not random. It is a daily vote on how safe they feel. You've probably seen it. Your dog circles before lying down. They try one spot, get up, try another. Maybe they start at the foot of the bed and migrate up by 3 a.m. Maybe they leave the bed entirely and sleep on the floor next to it. Dog owners usually interpret this as the dog being fussy, or restless, or just weird. Dog behavior science has a very different interpretation. That circling behavior traces to denning instinct, the ancient pre-sleep ritual of checking the perimeter, compressing the grass, making sure the position is defensible. But what researchers at the University of Helsinki found when they fitted dogs with wearable sleep trackers is that the direction of the circle and the number of rotations before settling is directly correlated with arousal state. High arousal dogs, dogs carrying unresolved stress, circle more. Dogs in a secure, low-stress state drop into position faster and stay there. The settling speed isn't personality. It is a readout of your dog's current emotional baseline. Now here's the part that unsettles most owners. That emotional baseline is shaped almost entirely by you. A 2019 study in Scientific Reports followed 58 dog owner pairs and found that owners' stress levels and dogs' stress levels were synchronized across seasons, across weeks, and across sleep cycles. They called it emotional contagion. The researchers identified that the dominant direction of transfer was owner to dog, not the reverse. Your dog is not stressed because of the world. In most cases, your dog is stressed because of you. Picking up on signals you don't even know you're sending, internalizing them, and then trying to resolve them by sleeping as close to your body as physically possible. So when your dog migrates toward you in the night, when you wake up and they've moved from the foot of the bed to pressed against your side, that is not neediness. That is your dog detecting a rise in your cortisol during sleep and attempting to regulate their own nervous system through contact with yours. They came to you because your body is the answer to the question their body keeps asking. If that landed somewhere in you, subscribe. There are 3 more of these. And point 2 will change how you read your dog's face in the morning. 2. The way your dog sleeps next to you tells you something your vet will never think to ask about. Not near you, next to you. The specifics matter. Dogs have 5 primary co-sleeping positions that appear across breeds, ages, and households with such regularity that animal behaviorists have categorized them as behavioral signatures, each one corresponding to a different emotional state and a different message being transmitted. Position 1. Pressed back to back. Full dorsal contact, your spine's aligned. This is the rarest and the most significant. In wild canid social groups, back-to-back sleeping appears almost exclusively between animals with fully mutual trust. It requires both animals to accept vulnerability simultaneously. When your dog sleeps with their back pressed to yours, they are not just comfortable. They have classified you as an equal. That is the highest possible relational status a dog can assign. Position 2. Sleeping with their head on your chest or stomach. The research interpretation here shifts. Head placement toward the owner's torso, specifically the chest, has been linked in behavioral studies to what's called proximity seeking under stress. The dog is not relaxed. The dog is regulating. They are using the rise and fall of your breathing as a metronome for their own nervous system. It feels intimate because it is, but the emotion underneath is closer to relief than contentment. Position 3. Curled at your feet or ankles. This one most owners dismiss as the dog not really wanting to be close. The opposite is true. Dogs who sleep at the feet of their owners consistently, not occasionally, are demonstrating guarding behavior. They have positioned themselves at the perimeter of your body to monitor the environment while you sleep. This isn't separation. This is protection. Your dog at your feet every night is not distant. They are working. Position 4. Sprawled across you, legs, back, or head pressing weight into you. This is the position most owners interpret as the dog claiming territory. That interpretation is partially right, but misses the most important layer. Weight application in canine social behavior is a bonding signal. It communicates, I am here, you are here, we are together, and I am choosing not to be elsewhere. The dog is not claiming you as property. They are affirming belonging. Position 5. Sleeping in the same room, but not on the bed. Never touching. This is the position that costs owners the most sleep, metaphorically. Because this is the dog that has decided proximity is important, but contact carries too much risk. This pattern appears in dogs with disrupted early attachment, dogs who have experienced inconsistent handling, and dogs navigating a relationship where the emotional signals have been unclear. The dog wants closeness. The dog doesn't fully trust it yet. If you recognized your dog in that last one, the timed habit at the end of this section matters for you specifically. Every night for the next 30 days, before you get into bed, lie on the floor next to where your dog sleeps and stay there for 5 minutes. No talking, no reaching, no trying to initiate contact. Just be at their level in their space on their terms. What researchers found when this protocol was applied in a 2021 companion animal study from Yevushlaron University is that it measurably shifted dogs' position preference toward the owner over a 3 to 4 week period. The floor protocol doesn't train the dog. It tells the dog something they've been waiting to hear. I come to you too. 3. There is a moment that happens during your dog's sleep that almost no owner witnesses, and it contains some of the most important information in the entire science of dog behavior psychology. It happens during REM. You've seen your dog twitch in their sleep. Legs paddling, lips quivering, a sound that's not quite a bark. Every owner who has ever watched this has wondered the same thing. What are they dreaming about? Researchers at MIT's neuroscience lab, led by Dr. Matthew Wilson, found in a landmark study using hippocampal electrode recordings that dogs enter REM sleep with measurably active memory replay states indistinguishable from human dream architecture. Their brains, during deep sleep, are not resting. They are rehearsing, replaying the emotional content of their waking day, consolidating experiences, and processing unresolved social interactions. What this means is not just that dogs dream. It's what they dream about. The content is determined by what was emotionally unfinished when they fell asleep. Dogs who went to bed after positive, connected, predictable interactions with their owners showed shorter, lower arousal REM events. Dogs who went to bed after disrupted interactions, tension, ignoring, confusing signals, showed longer, higher arousal REM sequences. Their sleep was being used to process something that hadn't been resolved in waking life. Your dog is spending hours of their night working through what happened between you today. Not the walk, not the food, the interaction, the quality of the attention, whether you were present or somewhere else behind a phone. Whether the goodbye in the morning felt abrupt, whether you came home distracted. Dogs do not have the cognitive architecture to dismiss social information. They cannot decide it doesn't matter. They carry it into sleep, and their sleeping brain tries to do what their waking mind cannot. Make sense of the ambiguity. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Every night you go to bed having spent 10 connected, present minutes with your dog, not training, not performing, just being with them in a way they can register. You are not just giving them a good evening. You are giving their sleeping brain something clean to work with. You are reducing the overnight cortisol load. You are quite literally editing what they dream. The researchers call it pre-sleep social consolidation. Dog behavior psychology has a simpler name for it. It's called the relationship. And you have one every night whether you're awake or not. That's worth a comment. Tell me what position your dog sleeps in. I read every one. 4. Here is the thing nobody says about sharing sleep with your dog. And it is the thing that should make you feel extraordinary. The science of co-sleeping between humans and dogs goes back 15,000 years of documented domestication history. But recent genomic studies have reframed what was happening during all those millennia. Dogs did not simply adapt to living near humans. Dogs and humans co-evolved a shared neurochemical language, one that does not exist between humans and any other species on Earth. When you and your dog sleep in proximity, Both of your oxytocin systems activate simultaneously. Oxytocin, the neurochemical at the center of human bonding, human trust, and human love, operates between you and your dog in exactly the same bidirectional loop it operates between a parent and infant. A 2015 study published in Science by Japanese researcher Miho Nagasaki found that the oxytocin loop between dogs and owners was not a byproduct of domestication. It was the mechanism of it. Eye contact, proximity, touch, and co-rest activated the loop. The loop made domestication feel safe. Domestication made the loop stronger. What is happening when you sleep next to your dog is not a modern comfort habit. It is an ancient biological conversation that has been happening between your species and theirs for longer than recorded history. Your dog is not in your bed because you allowed it. Your dog is in your bed because 15,000 years of neurochemical evolution built a system in both of you that finds the deepest rest in proximity to each other. You were designed for this. So were they. And here is the final thought that I want to leave inside you. Most people go through their entire lives with a dog and never understand what the dog was actually experiencing. They see the behavior, the sleeping, the twitching, the migrating toward them in the night, and they call it sweet, and they move on. You just watched this video. You didn't move on. You now know that when your dog finds you in the dark, they are not being sentimental. They are enacting one of the most ancient neurological contracts in the history of your species. A contract that says, you are safe with me, and I am safe with you, and that has always been enough. You didn't just learn something about your dog tonight. You learned something about what kind of person watches a video like this until the end. Someone who wanted to understand, not just observe. That's not nothing. That's everything.